Everybody, great to have you back here for our swing trading class. My name is Mike Fairborn, Senior Manager of Trading and Derivatives at Charles Schwab. It is good to be here for you today, with you today, folks, because we are looking at the actual searches for our swing trade, potential swing trade setups to find those underlying swing trades. So a couple of key searches to look at today. One is going to be built. Both are really, developed within ThinkScript. I've got some additions to what I haven't shown before. Additionally, some interesting ways to view these. We've talked about some of this in the ThinkScript class, but never in swing trading and specifically devoted towards that swing trade time frame, that 3 to 15 days or 20-day time frame, kind of the meat of the move within the trend. So, really excited to go into detail on that with you all today. We've got a few different things to look at. Yeah, we'll build that up and take a look at some specific charts and setups as well. But with that, we'd like to welcome you all here. We've got Jay Richardson, Lori, JD Rojo, Life in the Fast Lane, Kelly, and many others here joining us. Will, great to have you guys all on board, and Riceberg and many more folks. Any questions, comments you have, definitely throw those in the chat for us. I'm joined in the chat with a good friend and colleague of mine, Ben Watson, a 30 plus year veteran, I do believe. Correct me if I'm wrong there, Ben. But Ben's been around for a little bit, and I'm sure you recognize Ben from all of those great workshops, live workshops that he does out on the road. So great resource here. Great to have him here today. Folks, it's great to have you all here today. Let's do some disclosure so we can get rolling here, though. All right. Material here is intended for general and information purposes only. Now, if we do get into it, options carry a high level of risk and not suitable for all investors. Short options can be assigned at any time up to expiration, regardless of the in-the-money amount. An ITM option has a higher risk of being assigned early, and short put risk purchasing the underlying stock at the strike price when the market price of the stock will likely be lower. Now, the paper money software application is for educational purposes only. Investing involves risk, including the loss of principal. For some products and strategies and investments, loss more than your initial investment. Now, there is no guarantee that the execution of a stop order will be at or near the stop price, and past performance, no guarantee of future results. Dividends are not guaranteed. We do like to list our futures disclosures over here and basically just state, just generally speaking, futures and futures options trading does involve substantial risk, not suitable for all investors. Now, one note here is we do just look at the futures charts. We do not trade in here. That's something you can get from Ben Watson on Tuesdays within a futures trading class. But with that, let's dive on into it, shall we? Okay, let's go forward here. And folks, yeah, any questions that you have as we're going through this, let us know in the chat or any comments. I do try to get to those within our discussion here. Just looking at the S&P 500, folks, a massive breakout, as we can all see, clearing above the 7,000 level, folks, and never really looking back, unless you want to call this looking back after we broke out. It was very, very small, but it's been noted by really a big, massive run, that we're seeing in technology, really comprising, like they say, the Mag 7 comprises roughly 40% of these moves in here. And we've seen a lot of strength in that area, particularly as it, obviously ties in and it relates to AI and AI spending, which is really driving a lot of those AI numbers right now within these companies. But I wanted to talk today, as we look at some of these setups, there actually are kind of swing trade scenarios, even in the S&P 500. I'm just going to pull this up right now just to highlight this, get us all on the same page. I think most of us are here, but hey, some of you are new for the first time. If you are new, let us know in the chat as well. Welcome to this class, and we do join at the same time, same place each and every week. Now, looking at the swing trade, we see that, as we did break out of above a long-term range, this is one of those swing trades that a lot of traders will try to find, that is a breakout trade. We've been seeing a lot of breaks in technology, and we made the case in last week's class for our markets and sectors class. Potentially, a lot of traders are thinking that this rally could continue for quite some time. Remains to be seen, but there is a lot of strength out there right now, and that AI spend cycle continues. So here we are on this break. You'll notice that as you come above a major level, oftentimes you will pull back. Now, some traders will look at this as maybe like a short-term flag, or there can be longer-term flags out here as well. But generally speaking, a flag type pattern. We talk a lot about that in this class because it helps to constitute kind of the swing trade time frame. I'm just going to clear this out. I don't know if you guys have done this before. I've done this just to think through different ideas. It's great for this class specifically, the classes, but just to get a drawing tool, clear off the chart over here on the right hand side to get a nice, not a whiteboard, folks, but a blackboard. Even better with some certain prints behind it. But that flag trade, we're going to see a lot of variations today because these searches that we're going to be pulling here got some interesting variations, but they are going to kind of mirror a little bit of the flag time frame like this. Now, I do have a think script, actually one that also consists of the hold at the end, a close above the high, the low day, which can oftentimes get that flag to be triggered right there to the upside because you get kind of a close above the high, the low day, and that can start the run higher. We'll talk about that in a little bit here, but generally speaking, that is the move right there that a lot of traders, investors might look for. Various time frames. This could be done, by the way, too. We're looking at a daily. I'm just observing a daily, and we'll look at dailies today. We could go shorter term intraday charts. The code works just fine with that. You're just going to see a lot more signals if you're looking at an hourly chart, for example. There's also a weekly chart. You're going to get a lot fewer signals there, but we could look at a weekly time frame too. But I'm just saying today, yes, in our discussions and in our class generally, we will be looking at a daily time frame. Now, as we look at a trade setup like this, the flag is one. I'll share that towards the end of our discussion, but this breakout right here is where a lot of traders do get interested because it can give them further expectations. And we just saw that. I just kind of tried to highlight that on the S&P, just generally on the market, but a lot of stocks within the S&P that are showing just that. So as we come over here, we might get a breakout coming above the range. Sometimes they don't go back all the way. 2 or 3 day pullback, not uncommon at all for a swing trade. Some will be, 5 to 10 day pullback. But oftentimes they might come close to the prior high range. That is, in many cases, an ideal type setup for a lot of swing type traders. Why is that? Well, you're seeing higher highs and higher lows. You're seeing the strength of a fairly large run to be followed by a very, very small pullback, relatively speaking, to this move. In addition, there could have been a much longer trend at stake too over here. So we might have a longer term trend that is up as well. You can see there are a lot of different indications here as to why this chart might show continued strength. And this is like a lot of this is like right here. Tech right now, technology. We're seeing many of these are in kind of this motion right here, a lot of strength, very, very mild pullbacks. Now, I'm going to add one addition to this that I've never talked about, but it occurred to me today that we have some simple breakout tools. Like we can find this, which we're going to go into right now, which is just awesome. We can find this very quickly on Thinkorswim using a pre-built Think script, actually, and I'm going to add to it. But you know what's fascinating about this? In many cases, stocks will do this. They will staircase. Notice that? A lot of times. And what I'm showing you here is they'll just rest on prior highs or rest near prior highs. The second component we're going to talk about, because I'm going to hit them both at the same time, back to back in terms of these searches, but it's this time frame over here, okay? And that's might be something like, because it can take, let's say, on oftentimes these pullbacks, 1 to 3 days for a lot of swings. But to be honest with you, sometimes some of the bigger flag setups might happen between 5 and 10 days. Now, if we're just looking up everything up to 10 days, like 1 to 10 days, that's a lot of charts we might be seeing on breakouts. It's a lot to scroll through. But I've got a script here for us that will look 5 to 10 days or whatever you want back, as opposed to 1 to 10 days. So we can isolate the window and really try to tap into this right here. And you'll see that's where tech is very, very interesting. We're seeing a little bit of a pullback in tech today, and that falls right in line with maybe trying to spot some of these swing trades over here. Okay, so I'm excited to go through this and pull it up right now as we get into this. Um, David says, where would you set the stop on that flag breakout? And again, stops aren't guaranteed to fill, at or near the execution price, but let's just do that real quick because I think that's a great point to bring up too, because we're thinking about it in terms of trades. A lot of times, what traders will do is they will do this, and I talked about this a little bit on the ThinkScript class on Friday, where we're using a double ATR, which is the average true range. But just to hit this note coming through right here, a lot of times if you were to get, either a breakout move, you're breaking above the high, or a bounce off the bottom, a trader might use an ATR times two. Just a times two on that. Let me just highlight this real quick so everybody does have it. If you are interested, we've got this over here. So I'm just, and by the way, encourage you to subscribe to our Trader Talks class, or Trader Talks webcast here, where we have all of our webcasts. And you've got some great webcasts in here by Ben. You've got other Bens in here. I'm in here as well. This is the class we spoke about last week that talks about that ATR specifically on the stops. You guys can take a look at this. It's just it's a double ATR, and it actually highlights the reversal scan. We did it on both sides. But if you want to take a look at this, this could be something that you could utilize too for ideas for potential stops. And that is right there. Okay. For potential stop ideas. Okay. Great. Now we got that down. And let's do this. Let's get our charts back and let's pull this up right now and highlight this in more detail. Now, I'm going to show you this because I want to just build this quickly. But like, for example, if I come over here and I say on the charts themselves, I can come over here and I can just type in or go into the indicator here, clicking on a little dropper icon, and I can type in just a simple price channel. Just price C is all I've typed in here. That price channel goes a long way in helping us get to where we want to be. Now, these prices, for example, on the price channel, when you're breaking above a high like this, okay, if we're looking at that, it could be a 20-day, 30-day, I mean, up to whatever you want to be. I've seen some longer term breakouts, 50 days, and all we're saying is we're representing between the last highs. So you've had at least from this point here to this point here, 20 days, 30 days, or 50 days. Let me highlight the channel so you can just see it a little bit more clearly here, and we'll go into detail. In fact, I'm happy to use the 20 or the 30. Yeah, we can start with the 20. I'm going to go here. Let's just highlight this. We'll get some colors in here and show it to you on something like a DD that actually did come up on the scan. I'll show you in just a second. Now, when you look at this, you say, oh, Mike, what am I looking at? Well, I didn't do exactly everything I wanted to do here. Go back to your price channel because you have to adjust this. If you go into it here, oh, sorry, that's the coding. But if you go to the wheel, that was the upper band is what I wanted. So the lower band, I'm looking for breakouts, folks, to the upside. So I took out the check mark of the lower band. I'm now on the upper band, you can see. I'm going to go right back in and use that same color theme is fine. Let's go ahead and just do a 4. We'll put some color or some life to this here. There we go. There you go. So here is the breakout. Now, as I look at this breakout here, can you see now where some of these pullbacks, where the price channel itself is showing a breakout? Potential flag pattern. It came all the way down here. Now, this was not one off the bottom. Our next scan, I'll show you in a second, we'll try to find the bounce below. Okay. The breakout, for short here, above. That's it right there. That's the breakout. Do you see how the price channel does that? It looks for a 20-day high. Those are 20 days. We broke it. We broke it. It's just marking the last high of the last 20 days. Within the last 20 days. This was the high of the last 20 days. Look how well that worked. I mean, in terms of just giving you breakout levels. You got one over here too. You can get them off the bottom. We're kind of looking at these coming off the top and breaking above a range right here. Okay, that's kind of objective that we're looking at today to find these swing trade type setups. This would be clearly a potential setup over here on some of these. I can pull up a number, whatever stock we want to take a look at. Here's NVIDIA. Where do we have it over here? When was actually the 20-day break? It's looking over this high right here. So it's saying this was beyond 20 days. Now a 30-day probably would have captured that range. Boom, and we came right back down and touched on it. But this is the 20, which I have highlighted right there. 20. You had a lot of them over here too. So there are ways to scan. You can see it breaking above, breaking above. And this one actually wasn't it wasn't that directional either. There was a lot of sideways action, but it kept you kind of out of the trade because you weren't breaking highs either through here, right? So we can build something like this to help spot those trades. In fact, all we would need to do is go into our scan tab over here into, now I'm scanning in the S&P 500. If I go ahead and add filter, by the way, Stock Hacker is where you have to be. Key tab, scan, sub tab, Stock Hacker. Got to be in the hacker to get there. There are some other ones that can be accidentally selected, but be there. Go to the add filter right here. Click on the add filter, study. And folks, all we're going to do is go into the pencil here, right-hand side, pencil, pen, delete the first one that comes up. We are in the condition wizard right now. I'm going to add a condition. Click on that condition. And we're just going to say, in this case, price. We're trying to time price breaking above a particular level. The closing price is any price that we're seeing as of right now. Whatever the price is at right now is the closing price. It also captures end of day closing prices for sure. Okay. Crosses above. Now, this is really great because it's very flexible. Whatever indicator we want to present to it, it's going to find that within whatever basket of stocks we're looking for, currently S&P 500, it will find those immediately for us. So we're going to choose a study over here. It's going to be a price channel, just like we saw before. Folks, it is not the lower band we're after. Just like on our visuals, it's the upper band. I'm going to show you 20, and I'm going to show it within, let's say, a couple days, 2 to 3 days, or just 2 days from now. This says one, it could have happened yesterday or today. Click on save, and let's click on this OK again. That's it. That's the entire scan. So if I click on scan over here, that fast, there are 32 companies that broke above their 20-day high within the last 2 days, and here they are in the S&P 500. Okay. Now, if I wanted to look at technology, I could come down here and just make sure I'm selecting the basket that more reflects what's been moving more frequently, although these could be interesting too. But there's going to be some overlap here as well. NASDAQ 100, we're going to have less here. It's 100 versus 500, and there you go. So still some of the companies, but there are some tech stocks that are not in there that we could get otherwise. But there's a pretty good overlap. What if I did this? What if I said, let's see. No, I think that's okay. This is an example of what we could do too. I'm going to show you what happens when you save this now. Now that you have it, come up top here, and after you've built it, just click on Save Scan Query. Simple price channel breakout. Click on Save, and you'll have it. The beauty of this is we can make this real easy with our price channel on the chart already. Because over here, I've got it all set up. Now, I saved it as the S&P 500. So these are all S&P 500 type stocks that just had a breakout, but it keeps it current for us every single day. So we can just come over here and take a look at it. Okay? So just what you'd do is you would go in off the bottom, if you're new to this, click on the plus sign in the gadget window down below, go to watch list, and just simply find exactly what it was we saved. It was a simple, there's a lot of S's in here, but there it is, the simple price channel breakout. Notice the little icon, that means it's a scan query. So now you have it there and you can simply take a look at it. And the beauty of this is connecting it to charts, of course, red and red. Folks, I could just simply go in here and take a look and see what we've got. There is BLK. So this is BlackRock. BlackRock had been down for a little bit, but it has now begun to take out its 20-period moving average. The key point here is what can we see behind the scenes? This has a tendency to pick up on price patterns because we're hitting new highs. You see this right here? That is an island reversal. That is a gap off the bottom. Island reversals have a gap down and a gap back up. You've got an earnings breakout over here as well. I don't know a ton. It's not technology, but here is BlackRock and it's showing behind the scenes. If you look behind this, what are we seeing? You see the move up, consolidation, and breakout. So this is how we can spot some of those swing trades for the possibility of a bull flag. And the bull flag is simply just this. The same move. This is the price projection, the standard price projection, what we call a T1 target in this class. Excuse me, a T2 target, because we've already had the breakout. We're just simply measuring this price range to this price range up top here as a target, taking us near prior highs. Found it so easily just by using an indicator already pre-built is one way to do it. Yes, I can share this script as well. I'd like you guys to build them too, just be familiar, but I'm going to share it with you. I got another one to share too that looks for a longer pullback that you guys are going to see here within technology. This is really quite interesting. That adds to this quite a bit. Now, DD is actually in here, and there is your breakout. Now, let's do this. Let's look behind the scenes. And by the way, feel free to just take the scan off for a second. The price channel, I'm just going to take it off and I'll show it to you. And I'll share this here in just a second. Do you see the little mini flag within there? We just broke out right here. It's pulling up this. It's not pulling up this range, this breakout right here. It's pulling out within the last 20 days right there. So it's nice because it matches that 3 to 15 day time frame. Yeah, 3 days. Look at that. That's a sharp upward move. Pull back 1, 2, 3, break out again. Are we on the verge of exactly another little swing here? Now, I'm not addressing technology because tech has not shown up here too much. We got to hit one more and then I'll share. I swear. It's almost there. We'll share it. You guys will have it here in just a second. But you see that? That is a shorter term kind of a swing trade that has maybe some force to it. I'm just eyeballing the move. The pull of the flag off the bottom to the next major move up. Folks, by no means does this mean where the stock has to stop. And by no means does it have to fulfill this. But traders might anticipate this because of the long-term trend consolidation. Oh, we're starting to make higher highs and higher lows. Boom, we break out. Is this what some would consider a higher expectation move, even though it might be just a 3 to 5 day move going forward to hit our target? It might take longer, but it's within that range, okay? It's within that range. So actually, before I hit GLW, which is Corning, it's been in the news quite a bit. Let me just share this so you all have it. Now, remember, think scripts aren't guaranteed for timeliness or accuracy, but as long as the data coming into the platform is good, well then, it's just a mathematical thing and we have good data. So, but just wanted to highlight that, not guaranteed timeliness or accuracy. Here it is. Here's the first one here. This is just a simple, I'll just put it in there, simple price breakout. And this is, simple, if you guys have been trading for a while, simple is oftentimes what traders will look for because you can look a lot. You can find other things behind it too, right? There's the scan right there. Break hour. Sorry, that's the breakout. I'll spell it right. Breakout. Yeah. Once you grab that, if you are new, you haven't seen it before, just copy that, come up top under setup, and just go to open shared items right there, paste it right in there like this. I just did a control V and hit preview, and then just normally name it something that you'd really be able to recognize quite easily. Simple price channel, something like that. Import it, And once you click on import, you can come up top under the scan here, and it's that middle hamburger icon, and then you can just simply load it in your, see over there on the left-hand side, just there, your personal one's listed right there. Okay, I'm going to add to this right now, and we have to create a think script to get us this. This is what we were after next. We're after this move. We want to see a breakout and the possibility of a consolidation here, maybe for a possible bigger trend move. So what we're going to do, we can't use the 1 to whatever number of days. I mean, we could, but it's not going to do, I mean, if we wanted to go 1 to 10 days, that's just a lot of stocks to scan through to see what we're after. But I'm going to isolate it here for you to say 5 to 10 days back. So I built a scan here to help us with this. It's really interesting. So let's do this. It does show a different basket completely. I'm going to go ahead and load that one up right now. And I just have this, I put a different name under here. It's just going to be called price channel range. And that's what it is. Let's look at that script right now. We go into more details on this within our ThinkScript class, but here's the difference. Notice what we're doing is we're looking at the same crosses above condition, but on our plot scan, we're actually saying, see that bracket in 5 days ago, 6 days ago. There might be, you guys let me know if there's a quicker way to do it, but maybe I'm old fashioned. I just do it just as it stands. 7 days ago, up to 10 days ago. Now, if I wanted to do 7 to 10, I just knock out these two bottom ones. That's it. While I'm at this one, and by the way, I did save this as the NASDAQ 100 because that's kind of where technology has been at right now. So let's do this. I'm going to scan it, but I'm going to actually share it right now for you as well. There you go. So these are some of the tech stocks that have broken out. And now pulling back over a larger window over the last time since they broke a high. It's been a longer time frame. So maybe something like, here's the breakout. There's your 20 breakout. I think I had 30 on it. Took a little bit longer, but then we did one of these. So that's your 5 to 10 day pullback right there. Okay. So let me share it. Let me just show you one thing too. If you wanted to change it from, I actually did this. Remember I said we could use it at 20 or 30. I made the price channel a 30, a little bit longer here. But there are some tech names you'd see in there. Google's in there. Datadog, Cisco, CrowdStrike. Well, many. I mean, we're looking in the NASDAQ 100, and that's the way we've fashioned this search. So let's come over here, and I'm just going to share this one, and I'm going to call it exactly what it is. I'm just going to give you the same name, which is price channel range as a way to find swing trade type setups in here. All right. Now, before I go into our last one, though, what I want to do is show you how this one is completely different from over here. By the way, NVIDIA, you are getting some tech stocks over here too. WDC's over here, Texas Instruments. Quick note, let's just see it over here. TXN. Okay, the breakout happened here. So we didn't quite get the pullback, but we do have a little bit of a window. There we go. The breakout here. So is it on the verge of a pullback? Could be. The flag I'm going to show you next will ensure that it's pulling back, but the breakout happened a few days ago. For example, on Cisco. Look at this with me. Here is definitely a break above a 30-day high range. It was within that range. Here's your jump up, and here's your pullback right there. Now, folks, if I was only looking at a 1 to 2 day window, and I ran a scan like this if it were to come up, I would only find it there. After that, it would be missing, missing, missing. But you know what we would catch right there? I believe that's actually 5 days. Or you would see it over that time frame. So you would capture kind of this bigger pullback here for a possibility of a bigger run. And by the way, this one does have earnings coming up, so just be mindful of that. Is that this week, by the way? Let me just double check that here for us real quick. That is the 13th. Yeah. Well, that's tomorrow. Yeah. Today's the 12th. Yeah, so we've got an earnings announcement. So be mindful of that, but a really, really strong run. Okay, so I'm going to go over into my watch list now and find, I'm just going to alter this and just go into it because it was a price range breakout. There it is. Price channel range. See how it loaded up for us? We didn't have to go over here and hit scan. It automatically populates every day with those kinds of moves. Okay. Oh, didn't see the chart indicator. Excellent, Austin. I'll show you that right. Actually, real quick, and there's another question as well. So let me hit that as well. But okay, so here you go. Those are the same ones that came up right there in our scan. Shoot, sorry, there you go. Scan. Notice exactly identical, but it saved it, and so bam, we can tap into it quickly. All right. On our charts, what we want to do over here, Austin and everybody, just go right into that price C over here and put it on and add it that way. I've got it in here. It's a great one to have just to see if you're getting breakouts as well. But price channel is if you're getting it for the first time. The adjustments I made there, Austin, were just the following. Because I was looking for upward moves, I took out the lower band because it can look for 20-day or 30-day, whatever new lows we're putting in our length. I was looking for the stronger upward moves right now. So I did upper band, I did the show plot, and I just changed some widths, colors, and styles. So that one's pretty good there. But I left the yeah, I still have the show study off, so it's gonna stay off for a second. But that's how we can see it. Actually, I can put it back on. Let's just do that so we can see it right now. All right, so there we go. Upper band, yeah, we're good to go. Here it is. So it's lit back up again, and I've got it right there. Click. All right. By the way, thank you, Wiley. You guys, if you are getting value out of this, as he just reminded me, yeah, smash that like button. It lets me know. It lets my manager know, that Ben and I, what we're doing here is providing value to you guys. So if you smash that button, it just lets us know. Again, be sure and subscribe to our Trader Talks channel. That is growing. We've got us up to 196,000, getting close to 200. And love to have you on board there. You can get access to the playlists in here. Um, yeah, there's a class that Ben taught recently, and some others down here as well. But yeah, some really good ones to look at. Of course, with this class here, I'll put this in the swing trading. We did a couple recently. Let's see, this is just the swing trade playlist, but yeah, swing trading. But yeah, it would just say over here. Um, Up top to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. But love to have you guys on board. Okay, well, that's that. And oh, yeah, be sure and follow Ben on X, Ben Watson CS. I'm here as Mike Fairborn CS. Got some good stuff in there. I will religiously post, especially during earnings season, these earnings estimates, and economics in here as well. You can see what we're getting on the week and stuff like that. What's kind of cool about the Schwab one is it does give you estimates over here too, earnings estimates. You can see some of those too on the chart, but all right. Well, there you have it. All right, everybody. Well, let me just do this. I'll just post this here if you're interested. There is the link. Be sure to follow Ben Watson CS. Okay, now we're over here, and I want to take a look because we did get, like, for example, you guys remember GLW? Well, GLW right here. Now, will GLW actually? Let me do this, Austin. I said I'd put it on. I'm gonna take it off for a second just to see the data behind the scenes here. But this is the one where on this gap right here, NVIDIA. I sent a little tweet out on this. They had invested God, it was a huge number, 2.3. Yeah, you're saying that right, billion in some facilities for Corning. And what traders might be looking at here, we did break above 200, but what about a little consolidation here? And the possibility of a breakout, question mark. Could happen, right? This is the kind of stuff that we could be looking at. This is the kind of pullback that a range search can find. I've got a pre-built range though that looks, I promised you guys, bounces, not just breakouts, but bounces as well coming in here. These could be very, very interesting candidates, though. Here is that AMD. Okay, you're just barely starting to pull back. It's coming up in our range. I think our other one might have found it as well too, but there you go. You see it? Possibility of it coming back. Sometimes traders will look at big support around gaps, 400. I've got to say this because if this would be crazy if this happened, but we are kind of in this massive productivity sort of a rally in a lot of these tech companies. I'm going to highlight something for you guys right there. Now, this is a big measurement gap coming up right there to there. It's kind of like a bull flag, but this range over here, if I look at it very carefully, that is 150 points. Just as an example, because we do a lot of these um, projections here too in our swing trade class. But if I just pulled this guy up to about 150, where would that put us at? Well, I mean, that's 400, 500, 550. Okay. So there could be some swing potential in here to maybe get us moving a little bit higher, perhaps. Okay, just as an estimate there. All right. So uh, that's why some of these could be of interest. Now, this could be also quite big as well. You're just barely getting signs. That's a prior high as well. But utilize these, and I've given you guys some ways to kind of adjust that. Now, having said all that, we're going to go over here into the S&P 500 and we can go into larger baskets of stocks too. But this is one that was built a while back. Now I have one here too. These are flag patterns, and these are updated as well. And all this simply is a customizable script. Another think script, again, not guaranteed for temperature accuracy, but there are the flags right there. I'm going to pull up the flags right there, and you've got it. This is one from a prior colleague of mine. He's built it out kind of in an old-fashioned way as well. There are other ways to do it, but I kept the old-fashioned way. Uh, that Ken had built here for us because I thought it was way cool when he did do it at the time. And I'll go ahead and share that right now for you guys in terms of flags, if you don't have it already. Flags, and it shows bullish and bearish. There it is into the box. So I've shared three already today, and we'll have those. By the way, if you are viewing this session as a recorded version, I will have these in the description section down below as well, just so you know. I want to make sure you guys have those if you're taking a look at these two. But there are the flags. Oh, it's going to load back up again. You can see the red, the greens. It should come back to our greens. It's 500, so it's going to take a second to load up. There it goes. Oh, well, okay, I'm going to try to hit a basket of these as they're loading. Amazon, do you see the pullback? It's looking for bounces. We thought there might have been a bounce earlier. Not still pulling back down. So what could a trader wait for on a script like this? How about a Cahold close above the high to low day? We don't have one today, but the Cahold gets us sort of towards the bottom of those flags. How many of you are like the bounces off the bottom? Do you look for those? I'm just curious. I do like those. In fact, I've got to find out. I'm more interested in polls these days because they are interesting. Um, um, are you looking more at the bounce or the breakout? And that will help me to kind of determine what I might be doing forward too. But I'm just curious about this. Let's see if we can get at least 30 responses in here for a minimum sample size. A bounce or breakout. Kind of a late poll, but I'm curious. They're fascinating because you can get the sometimes if you get it right, the beginnings of the move. For example, notice over here too. Let's define this very uh, minutely so we can understand. Notice as the pullback occurs, there's a low day, a new low day, a new low day, a new. Have we broken above the high of any of these low days yet? These are the highs. We can see them. It's making a low day, and that can oftentimes be one of the most interesting points for the start of the move is when it starts to break above the high of that low day. And so that's also known as a Cahold, or you can also get, a breakup higher. You can get a second day follow through. A number of those can come up. Now, some of you might like them both, and I'm sorry I didn't put that poll option down below, but the bounce can be quite fascinating. I'm going to go hit some more of these. Okay, it's loaded up now. No, it's not quite there. Here we are. Let's see. What else do we've okay. So here's one. This is kind of interesting too. Now, this is Delta. You'd have to say Delta and some of these airlines, folks, they might be a little bit more interesting. Wow, if the price of oil were to not go up, but actually go down, and that's kind of a play on a geopolitical scenario, right, with Iran. And we don't know, but we can say that we're approaching these highs here and we're making some higher highs, higher lows, some progress in here. A lot of times you'll see that progress before a breakout. Now, doesn't mean it's going to happen every time, though. Here we are again. We're loading up some more. Many of these are not. I was trying to find. GE has got, well, it's got some tech elements to it. This one, yeah, there's a little bit of a pullback, a lot of consolidation, though. When we're looking outside of technology, right? We're seeing a lot of consolidation outside of technology. Um, so there's Oracle. So Oracle, kind of off the bottom. Do you see possibly the beginnings of a start of a move here? It's spotting it right there. Just really, really excellent potential candidates for a move to the upside. This is clearly one off the bottom, not so much off the top. Getting into some of the other areas, there's Microchip, a few days down. It did have Amazon in there too. So remember, it showed the pullback. So some technology, Google. Finally, you're getting a little bit of that Google right over here, and we shall see if that's a bounce. I don't know if you guys caught. I did send out an X post just basically stating that there's. Don't quote me exactly on this, but the chart said something like $8.2 trillion in cash right now, in market cash. And I was just wondering, is some of that there waiting on the sidelines for a pullback? Okay, let's just see where our poll's at. Thank you guys for participating in that. And let's see, we got 56 votes. Awesome. So the bounce 62 and the breakout 38. And I would guess that a majority of you are looking at well, I would say many of you want to probably see both, but yeah, if you had to choose, and I made the poll kind of where you had to choose, but there you go. By the way, 38.2, 61.8, couple of Fibonacci numbers right there, 62 and 38. Okay, interesting there. But so you've got this scan here. Now, before I'm done, I'm going to highlight, I'm going to show you something else that I want to just add in addition to this. Remember, we're scanning through on this particular one, the S&P 500. I have it here just as a link, but remember, you can add this in anytime. And this is a little bit different because this is a column study, a column study. So where are you going to find the columns at? Right click on a column, either in your Market Watch tab or down here in your watch list under customize. It's different. So I've added this down here. You just type in flag. Well, I named it flags, and there's your flag right there. Okay, so you've got a flag in place. Down towards the bottom, there is a, so there's a Google. I mean, if it continued to go down at the very end, these are all the ones that did the move to the downside. Aerospace and defense. So these are kind of like bear flags. You see the difference in the trend? Lower lows and lower highs. So kind of like the bear flag. But this sort of screener has both here for us. Okay, now I've got to make one adjustment. So like you had it here, this would have picked it up here as well, right there, right there. Bear flags. So clearly a pattern in here. You might spot some triangle patterns in here, some head and shoulders patterns. It can pull up all kinds of different patterns, but this is the S&P 500. If I was looking at mainly just bullish, I could go up top here and just scan through the NASDAQ 100 if I'm looking at technology. So notice I just changed the basket over here and a much smaller basket of stocks. And now we can go specifically in and just see what's going on here. See the pullbacks? Technology pull. That's not technology, that's Kraft Heinz. But you're getting Google, you might get some others in here as well, but this is pulling it up. All right, everybody. So that is what I had for you today. And yeah, that's interesting, Scott, that was in there as well. everybody. Hope you got value out of the presentation. That's the whole goal. That's our objective. If you did, appreciate today's discussion as well. Smash that like button. Lets us know to be sure to subscribe as well. But on that note, it's been great being with you. I look forward to utilizing these tools next week as we really focus in on technology. And actually, we're going to be shortening our time frames down as we look at that technology cycle for some of these quicker sort of flag patterns and just general patterns as well. So on that note, take care, everybody. See you next time.